English course was more of a challenge than any other English class that I had in the past, but not because it's harder or because we had to make like much more difficult works, but instead because it made me work on aspects that I never felt comfortable working, such as presenting, and that's what we did, I think, the most during this semester, during this very short period of time, because um, for on this semester, like I, the day that I arrived to the class, like I was transferred like from one English class to this one, and what my classmates told me was, you're presenting tomorrow. You have to do this." And I was like shocked then because it was like just the second day of classes, and where everyone was already starting to present, and I was like very nervous, and I wasn't very sure if I did the right thing of changing from class, because like I've never liked presenting, at least until now. I still don't like it, but at least I'm not uncomfortable at doing so. Um, but well, as I said, this was much more of a challenge, but because, especially but for the presentations, since because every time that I have presented something on my life in front of a crowd, in front of some public, even though it was just one person, I always got very nervous, very anxious, and like it was very hard for me to present. Like right now, just even recording a video about myself is something that I feel hard. I know it's not something I'm comfortable with. Like every time I stepped up in front of a crowd, I forgot to tell my name. Once, like my name, like I was going to say my name, and it's like I forgot it. I started to tremble. My voice, like I start to think a lot of what I want to say, and it's something that gets very difficult to me because then like I'm forgetting what I wanted to say, or I start thinking about something else, or I just get maybe stuck on one thing and I just keep talking and talking about it and without talking about something else. It's just like something that I've never felt comfortable with, and this course I think was such a big help because, as I said, since day one we were practically already presenting, and in the course of 3 months, at least of those, I don't know, 16 weeks that we had of class of this semester, I guess that I don't know, at least 6 whole weeks were of presentation by presentation, and more presentations each time. Like some were harder, some were easier. Like, but that was one thing. Then, but not only about that, I thought it was more of a challenge because this wasn't your typical English class. This was something else, and that's why it was something amazing. Because instead of just showing us like how to spell or grammar or only vocabulary, this class showed us like about what we wanted to do in life. Like for example, architects and designers were the ones that were mostly taking this class. And for example, at first, the first, I don't know, 8 weeks were just about like architecture, and well, we were talking about architecture. We did papers about architecture and presentations about architecture. All the, you could say, all the grammar, all the vocabulary was appearing and was checked because, how do you say, like on all the papers that we did, it, it appeared, and we always like had to, I'm forgetting the word, sorry. Like, it was an English class, but with something else, and that's what made it amazing. And like something great was that, uh, and not only about we didn't learn, we didn't only learn about the history of architecture, the history of design, about only about architects and designers. Like the class was in a way so good that, for example, on for one presentation, one that I like the most, e- every everyone in the class would pass to the front and present the building that they thought was the most beautiful in the world and the one that they thought it was the ugliest. It was something pretty amazing because like everyone was able to give their complete and utter opinion about buildings, and like instead of doing something like systematic that you have to present this and you have no other option, this is what you have to do, and you can't do anything about it. So that's what like I like most about the course. Sorry. Um, then a question that I saw like that like was maybe recommended to be answered on this was if we knew how to like if we learned to learn, but that when I read it I was like very confused because well I for what I think since the day we're born we're already learning, like we know how to learn since that day, and that is because like we have to keep learn like each and every day of our life we have to keep learning new stuff so that we can keep going on. We have so that every time we stumble with something we can learn how to surpass this thing and never stumble with that thing again. Like but still in a way, if you ask me if I know if I learned how to learn, I don't know why I my answer would be no. And that is because like if you ask me I can't define that word. I'm not sure how to define it because that